Hello and welcome to another GT Sports video. This was daily race C from last week. It's at Spa in Group 1 cars. It's a 10-lap race. These races were fairly isolated. It's a rolling start with a chicane, so it sort of splits the entire field into two parts, the ones ahead of the chicane and the ones on or behind the chicane when the race starts. Nevertheless, this was a good race. I hope you guys enjoyed. I almost thought of going for a move there, but I decided it was best not to. I didn't want to get a penalty even before the race started. Here the driver ahead was in an Audi, and you can see the difference between the cars. The Toyota is so much faster, so in the acceleration zone, I was able to just fly past the Audi into the first corner. This moment defined the rest of the race. Now the thing to remember is that this is the first lap and my normal braking point is the 100-meter board. I was only half a second behind another car, which means I was in the slipstream. So cold tires plus slipstream plus late braking equals, well, you guessed it, I totally overshot the corner and ended up losing a bunch of positions. Going off track meant that I had dirty tires and that ruined the following couple of corners. I totally lost my rhythm through this entire section and was struggling to stay on track. I had no idea when this driver crept up on me, but that meant I was off track again. Luckily, the driver behind me wasn't too close to go for a move, so I was able to focus and put on a good lap and make sure I gained some of the lost time. By the end of the lap, I was settled in and making some progress in catching up with the cars ahead. And that's when I saw this, a yellow flag. It always means someone is off track or crashed out, which is a good thing for us. Looks like the cars ahead were fighting a lot, so I was able to close down the gap to under half a second. These two cars were stuck in a battle, so I decided to stay back and not fight into this corner. The car in front of me, though, ended up going for a move and wide of the exit, so I was able to switch back and overtake both the cars at the exit. The car behind me was still pretty close. It was in my slipstream, so it had a chance of going for a move into the next corner, so I went defensive. I was just looking back to make sure where the other car was, but it looked like they had a penalty, so I was pretty safe. Here the car ahead of me made a mistake, so it was time for me to capitalize on it. At this point I felt bad for the car ahead. They made a mistake and lost time, but added to that, the game decides to give them a half a second penalty. Sometimes the penalties just don't make sense to me. There's no point penalizing someone who's already lost time and positions. Once again, the Toyota was able to pull hard on the acceleration, but the car ahead had the position and covered the apex. So I had to lift off and fight another day. And one place away from where we started. Slowly but steadily, I was able to catch up with the driver in front of me. Now all I had to do was to make sure that I made a clean move into the bus stop chicane. Braking right on time, I made sure I made the apex and covered the apex on the exit so that they could switch back. Now that's 12th place. At least I'm back where I started. If you look ahead, there's a huge gap to the DriverInRed. It was more than 5 seconds. I had to gain almost a second a lap to overtake that car. So I decided that this is probably where I was going to finish. I just had to make no more mistakes. Jumping ahead to the end of lap 4, I once again see the yellow flag, which can only mean good things for me. It looks like the car in 11th spun out and quit the race, so free position for me. The car ahead of me had a penalty, but it was also more than 5 seconds ahead of me, and also probably was faster than me. So I didn't have a lot of hopes of catching up. But jumping ahead to the end of lap 5, I once again see another yellow flag, which means I get to gain another position. Looks like the car in 10th place lost control on the exit of the chicane. Good for me, I was able to keep it clean. At this point, I was settled into the race. I had a nice rhythm going and was being consistent. The next car was about 5 seconds ahead. Once again, I didn't think I would be able to actually catch up on pure pace. So I was being careful, not making any mistakes and keeping it clean. Until the end of lap 7, and the car ahead of me totally bins it and ends up facing backwards and getting reset, I think. Anyway, good for me, I make up another place. The next car ahead was 13 seconds away. Now, even if they made a mistake, I still don't think I would be able to make up that position. I just kept my head down and set some good laps and hope that the guys behind me don't catch up. Jumping to the end of lap 8, I make a small mistake. I just go over the line for a fraction of a second. I quickly corrected the instant I realized it, but no. The game ends up giving me a half a second penalty. Well, I did step out of the line. By this time, the car behind me was catching up. It was only 1.3 seconds behind. I estimated that I would lose about 7 to 8 tenths with the penalty. I just hope they don't catch up. Jumping to the end of lap 10, the car behind me was catching up. I was constantly checking behind me to make sure I would cover a move if there was a chance for a lunge into the final chicane. Luckily, they never got close enough for a move, and I covered the apex on the exit to avoid any switchbacks. Finally, I come home 9th. That was one hell of a race, starting 12th, dropping back to 18th because of a silly mistake. But luckily, I was able to be consistent and make the best of the race. Maybe if I had not made a mistake, I could have ended up a little higher, but that's how it is sometimes. You make the best of what you have. I hope you enjoyed the race. Let me know in the comments what you think of the penalties and if there was anything I could have done differently in the race. Thanks again for watching. Once again, hit thumbs up if you like the video and subscribe for more. See you around next time.